For some analysis on what's happening today, we're joined by our international affairs commentator, Douglas
Hi there, Matt.
Herbert. Hi there. So part of this argument that House managers are making today, and I assume they'll be making in the coming days, they're trying to debunk the lies that Donald Trump made leading up to January 6th.
Yeah, and I'll even take the plural out of that, what they call the big lie. The big lie is actually taken from Nazi terminology about the Nazi propaganda and the fact that they were able to make a lie so big that at a certain point you couldn't debunk it, you couldn't deny it. It just became sort of part of the common currency of beliefs. In this case, the big lie is what the House prosecutors have been doing is connecting the dots, as you said, using Donald Trump's own words. Very devastating case that they're building here. Own words, videos of his rallies, of his speeches, of his tweets over many months. You could actually go back as far as last spring, because why was that? That is around the time when the polls were already showing Biden ahead in a lot of states. And there was a sense among Trump that the realization was sinking in that he could lose, except because this is Donald Trump, he can't lose. So what he began to do is to pump prime, to stoke up his base by spreading this assertion that the only way Joe Biden could possibly win the election, the only way would be if the election was rigged, i.e. stolen. Hence, what we began to see repeated in speeches and tweets over the coming months was this idea, the hashtag Stop the Steal, the idea of a stolen election, the idea of widespread voter fraud, despite the fact that he never presented any evidence to substantiate those false claims. Court cases, 60 or more of them, thrown out by judges across the country, one after another, basically refuting that fraud, because in these cases, no one brought any evidence to prove these claims. They were baseless, they were groundless. But they built up and they incited, they instigated, and they end up serving their purpose for Donald Trump, angering the base just enough so that they would do Donald Trump's bidding. And you see that in a lot of the testimony here, too. Cameras in the crowds showing basically these people were chanting for Trump. They knew that by going to the Capitol, they were doing his bidding. Yes, this was planned in some cases on social media before. A lot of people knew that there was maybe going to be some sort of action. But the prosecutors are arguing that if it had not been for the actions, the words, the speeches of Donald Trump, the former president, you would not have had the riot and the insurrection of the Capitol on January 6th.
I'm asking you to speculate here, but how do you think Trump himself is seeing this? Do you think he's watching?
I don't think he's watching. We have reports throughout the U.S. and many reporters saying he is watching. Donald Trump is a television man, and, he might claim that he never watched CNN or any of the other channels, but he's there in sort of a self-imposed exile in Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, at his gilded billionaire resort, club, if you will. He's not only watching, but as we heard our own reporter, Kate Devon Gorgestani, reporting earlier from Washington, the reports out of the U.S. are that he had, at least in the opening of the trial, been screaming at the people who are around him who will still listen to him. He still does have some faithful aides around him, screaming at his frustration, at what he saw as a shambolic opening defense, his own lawyer. Some people speculating, would he have fired that lawyer if he could right then and there while the lawyer was talking? He is said to be extremely frustrated, extremely disappointed, a sense of a bunker mentality, that he's not been really coming out publicly. He's watching this from afar, and he knows, as well as the Republican senators in that room, that the House prosecutors are making a very compelling case. But I will end with this thing. While he's watching, while he's Donald Trump, while he may be fuming and raging at what he sees as the ineptitude of his own defense, he also is riding high on the certainty, the all but certainty that he will be acquitted. He knows that he will have at least 34 votes among the Republicans and that he needs in those senators to avoid the two-thirds majority you need for a conviction.
Okay, international affairs commentator Douglas Herbert, thanks as always.